you can rewatch this video when it's time, like when you want to like review what happens in that we go over. Yeah, how to do one-liners. And we're not talking about cocaine, I think. Yeah, that was yeah. Somebody once asked.
Yeah.
Well, somebody once asked me what's my favorite one-liner. No, they asked someone on stage that. Nobody said anything, so before the show was over, I had to run up there and say, "My favorite one-liner is cocaine," even though I don't do drugs. But it was such a missed opportunity. I was mad, but I was angry. Okay, so. Welcome to episode 24 of One Step at a Time with Charlie Chen. I'm with my friend Marz here. And Marz here wants to become a comedian. And, well, since last episode 23, I covered how to go beyond one-liners. I think, hey, why not teach Marz how to do simple one-liners to get her into comedy? And also, pretty much as a 1-2 punch to go with episode 23, right? So, Marz, so I'll teach you how to do a one-liner, and after we understand the mechanics of it, or how to approach it, we're going to go over a whole bunch of example jokes, okay? And then, anyway. It's so big. It's so big. Did I F up the recording? No, I didn't F up the recording. But why is it like this? Okay, there we go. Better. Let's take a look at the camera. It's okay. It's okay. Better now? Okay, it's fixed. Cool. Okay, so the mechanics of a one-liner, and you might want to write it down, is that you have the first part is a setup, and the second part is a punch. So you might want to put it on, you might want to put it on two different lines. The first line on top is setup, and the second line is called punch. So setup on the first one, and then 2 lines down, and then type in punch. Punch. Now the goal with one-liner is that you're supposed to go, so how it works is that it works by twisting the meaning somehow, okay? So you're using the setup to misdirect, and you use punch to pretty much complete the misdirection. It's like you're saying one thing, but you're actually saying something else. So the setup is to misdirect people, so you can say misdirect underneath setup. The goal of setup is to misdirect or set up the premise, right?
I'm really bad at spelling. Give me a second.
That's fine.
There we go. All right.
And so the setup covers 2 important things.
Okay.
Both the premise and misdirection.
Okay.
So pretty much it's like, it's a beautiful day, I went outside, right? Something like that. Now, I haven't even thought of this joke. So it's a beautiful day, I went outside. So the story is going one way, right? Then if I were to change it into an actual joke, now that I'm sort of been put on the spot.
You're there by yourself.
So then we'll get to there, okay? We'll cover that, but
wait, but do we stay outside?
No. We'll go over that in a bit.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day, so I went outside. We'll get to there.
It's a beautiful day, so I went outside.
I didn't even think about this as a joke, but I'll have to write it live pretty much once we get to here. So, okay. Now, why it works is twisted meaning, misdirect, and punch, right?
Okay.
Now, the reason why you want to do one-liners, first of all, as a beginner, it's the easiest one to get, right? Because it's sort of like the building block of a comedy set. It gets... Other than making random funny noises, like one-liners is as close to that as possible, okay? So So for modern audiences, they have short attention span. That's why we have like 6-second videos and things like that, right? And then the second, it's also very good for beginner because the simplicity brings clarity. How simple it is, you know exactly what happened, like why it works and why it doesn't work, right? Now the downside of one-liner is that as you progress, places expect you to do like a 5-minute set or a 10-minute set or maybe even longer. Well, in terms of pacing, so in comedy there's this thing called laughs per minute, as in how many laughs you can get people to do every minute.
Okay.
And on top of that, different laughs have different score almost. Like some laughs are a chuckle, sometimes it's a groaner, like something really gross and shocking, right? Or maybe dad jokes, maybe it's like, oh, right, that kind of thing. And sometimes it's a pop where people just belly laugh, like the whole room belly laughs, right? You want those. But when it comes to one-liners, for me anyway, I can get about maybe 3 to 4 laughs per minute. Now, ideally, from what I've learned anyways, from the classes I've learned, that you want at least 4 laughs per minute. But I mean, it's up to different people, right? Like because let me just give you a little preview of what you can do with one-liners, right? So in addition to a punch, a follow-up punchline, and you might want to write this down, underneath punch, it's called a tag, T-A-G. Yep, a tag is essentially a follow-up punchline. So you can say that. It's a follow-up punchline, yep. So because the part that's slowest when it comes to a one-liner is the setup, right? You're essentially spending half your time setting up the misdirection and then half the time doing the punchline, right? Well, if you can do one misdirection and then you can get like 3 to 4 punchlines to go afterwards, then essentially the setup time is reduced down to maybe only 20%, right? Then you get 80% laughs afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why you want to do like follow-up punchlines like tags. Now, from my last video, it seems like the happy number of tags to follow is about around 3. So you might want to
3.
Around 3 tags. Or 1 punchline and 2 tags. So, so 3 punchlines per setup, pretty much. So
okay.
That's what, yep. Now,
so it would be 3 per set.
No, 3 punchline per setup.
Per setup.
Yeah, setup is...
No, I get you.
Yeah. So around 3 punchlines per setup.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
And these punchlines includes tags, so... Okay. Now, how do we complete the misdirection, right? Let me make sure the camera is pointing right. Good. Camera is looking good. How do we do it? So, you know, in school they talked about who, what, when, where, why, and how. Mm-hmm. Those are the 6 W's. Any of these can be a point where it can twist, right? And yeah, you might want to, yeah, you will want this actually. Who, what, when, where, and what. Why and how.
Yeah, keep going. I'm writing it down.
Mm-hmm. The 6. Now, the reason why I wait till now before going back to It's a Beautiful Day, so I went outside, it is because now we know that the 6 different angles that we can do, now we can actually play around with it, right? So for instance, if I'm going by who, right? Well, it's hard to change I into someone else, right? Like I is pretty explicit. So we can't really do much with who when outside, right? Now, we might be able to do with something like what, right? Like, what is, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside, right? You can play with what counts as a beautiful day, right? And you can also do what counts as outside. You can play around with that. When See, it says it's a beautiful day. The assumption, right, the misdirection would be it's during the daytime, right? But a beautiful day doesn't have to be during daytime, right? It could be in the afternoon or
At
although
night.
people don't say beautiful day when it comes to nighttime, so when is kind of set, right? Where, well, there's flexible in that, right? Because outside, it's outside, but outside of where? Outside the house, outside the closet, outside the kitchen, outside the living room, outside where? Outside the restroom. It doesn't specify, right? So that's a possible twist. So let's actually start writing down what we can play with, right? Who is set in stone? What may be possible? When is pretty set in stone. I do like where, so we'll put where there. Why? Why isn't specified, right? The implied is that I went outside because it's a beautiful day, right? But that's not a full why, right? There can be so much more reasons to outside, right? And then there's also how. Went. When doesn't mean anything, right? How did I go outside, right? So by going through it, now you have 4 possible angles to play around with this one-liner, right? It's a beautiful day, so I went outside. Question is, how do you make it funny, right? So, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside. If it is beautiful, so I guess, and these by no means are good punchlines, but you can do. So you went outside to so I went outside to to scare people with my ugly face in the name of balance. That's a shitty joke, but that's a reason, right? But there's not exactly. Now this plays with why, right? In the sense of you're a balance enjoyer, but by no means a good joke. So let's see. How did I went outside? It's a beautiful day, so I went outside. I mean, something stupid would be, so I went outside to tan my butt. But that's still a sentence. It's not exactly a one-liner because there's not exactly a twist, right? So maybe now sometimes when you get to this part, you come to realize that, well, maybe the setup is bad, right? Because like it's a beautiful day, so I went outside.
It also might be
Like sure, it sets up the pacing of the story, but how are you going to twist it? That's the hard part when it comes to one-liners, right? Why did I went outside?
Oh, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside.
Went outside. I mean,
It's a beautiful day, so I went outside
of my closet. I guess you can do that as a coming out joke, right?
Oh, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside. But the correctional officer said it wasn't my recreational time.
That's good, but you might want to write it down. But the correctional officer said it is not my what?
My recreational time.
Recreational time. Now that's good because you changed the location from outside. Like outside essentially becomes a prison, right? Well, going by that logic, we can play with funny stuff like outside of the morgue,
Yeah.
outside of the hospital.
It's a beautiful day. So I went outside. The people at the funeral were scared. Yeah, see, like stuff like that would be
Yep.
really good.
And that's actually one thing I was talking about. It's called one step over. So instead of saying you went outside of prison, the correctional officer said it's on my recreational time, right? I went outside, but I spooked the people attending the funeral, right? And that's good because it doesn't bring it into the focus until when you say the funeral, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. So this definitely have something like concrete when it comes to location, right? So
I like that.
mm-hmm. Okay, but now that we have it figured out, let's get rid of where because we sort of got down where, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what else can we do with the other 6 or with these 3? What, why, and how? What might cause us to go outside when it's a beautiful day? Outside of my personal space? No. When outside, it's a beautiful day. So these 2 are wheres, right? Very good, Marz.
Yeah, I have fun with these.
So why? And actually, it does remind me of those exercises that they do at improv. Remember, they talk about like like they say things like microwave is like I'm hot like a microwave because blah, or they say things like sex with me is like blah, right?
Yeah.
Those improv exercises. So
I remember those.
Mm-hmm. So it's a beautiful day, so I went outside. Why did I went outside?
Why did I went outside?
So I went outside of like what's a bad reason to go outside because it's a beautiful day? Oh, I know.
Let's start spitballing. Normally,
So you can say it's a beautiful day not because it's natural. You can say that it's a beautiful day because of radiation, right? Like let's say, have you heard stories about atomic bombs exploding?
yeah.
No. I'm talking about like what it actually is like when it's exploding for people on the ground.
No, I have heard about it. Like in the sense of like, yes. I'm sorry. This sounds dumb, but I saw like Perfect Gen and stuff. Like I saw the animes. They talked about it a bit.
Yeah, but from the U.S. soldiers' recount, when the atomic bomb is going off, the light is so intense that you can actually see your blood vessels and the bones in your body, right?
Now that I didn't hear, but I did know that like you leave like your own shadow of where you were placed.
No, that's after the explosion.
No, yeah, that's usually what I knew.
So if we're going by this thing, right? So let's say the beautiful day. People think that it was just a beautiful day because of sun. We're going to twist it because beautiful day. Hi, cats. Because of nuke going off, right? So then how do we complete it, right? So then it would be like, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside for my... So I went outside for
It's a
my
beautiful
daily uh, radiation shower. I don't know. It still feels out there, right?
It's a beautiful day, so I went outside.
But you have to twist the why, not where. Why did you went outside?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful day. So outside.
It's a beautiful day, so I went outside.
So so
Hmm.
went outside to do uh drugs.
Nah, drugs is such an easy punch.
It
Why
is
not to do illegal activities?
to do crime,
Um,
but that's like a black
to
joke
do. Why would it have to be a black joke?
or a Mexican joke. But just
Why does it have to be specific? Why can it be Tim the white guy?
true. Oh, but white people don't get arrested though.
We didn't talk about them getting arrested. We just talked about it being a beautiful day.
Okay.
Okay, so we're giving
Beautiful day because of so.
okay, do drugs, do crimes, get hit by a car, it's a beautiful day, so I went outside to commit insurance fraud.
Yeah, that's better, right? Because it's more specific.
Who knew? All those hit and runs.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
and of
so I
course,
went
and,
outside.
and actually, what you just said is also really good. Like you just said, hit and run, right?
Yeah.
Like hit and runs, a phrase like this is perfect for one-liners because you can change what it means to hit, what it means to run, right? Um, let's see, like something stupid, like you can say something like hit and runs is what happens when I smoke tortillas or some stupid thing. when I eat
You are very oddly specific.
when I eat Mexican food or Indian food.
When I eat Mexican food. When I eat
Because
Mexican
hit and
and
run is do something bad and then run away, right? Hit and run is what happens when you eat Mexican food.
But then we also have to do the running part. That's the hit.
No. Runs. I'm talking about like poop.
No, I know, but like,
But then what do we do
but
for
like,
hit?
yeah, that's why. That's what I mean. Like, we need the other part where it's like, runs can mean poop, but I mean, the hit could be that one, and the runs can be the crime that we commit afterwards. Like,
No. That's the thing. One-liners' beauty is in its simplicity. The more you have to explain, the worse it gets.
oh no.
So
I mean, in the sense of like finishing like the sentence with 3 more words. I don't mean it like to over-explain it. It's missing.
hmm. So
It would be like while and then something. And that's what I'm trying to think.
one way to say it is when I eat Mexican food, I hit and run, right? But hit and run, hit and run.
Oh yeah.
Another one you can say is hit So something stupid would be hit. Why is it not typing? Oh, it's because it's on the second page. So
Nice.
hit and run, right? Hit and run is how I met your mother, or something like that. It's stupid. Hit and run. Hit and run is why I have attached. That's why is why I am clingy. Right?
Yeah, or hit and run is why I have attachment issues. I like that.
Yeah, because they hit you, run away, and then they're like, "No, stay! You have to stay! I need you to stay!" Right?
So like,
But that's the thing. Like people say that one-liners are like writing one minute every week is easy for Coldtowne. Writing 1 minute every week for Coldtowne is easy. Writing a good 1 minute for Coldtowne every week is hard.
yeah.
Okay, because there are so many like barely okay jokes, but are they the ones that you want to bring up to national television every week, right? So, but I'm still miffed that you actually got some better. What's it called? It's a beautiful day, so I went outside for me. I think. So. So when you do start doing comedy, one of the things that you're going to run into is people say. So some people like to just keep on writing new jokes. Keep on writing new jokes is good, but you don't really learn from your mistakes, because if you keep on writing new jokes, you don't have the time to digest what you have written or performed so far, right? But since you're new, right? Since you're new, the opposite is also pretty bad, where you only rewrite your existing jokes, right? Because what makes all this easier is actually picking a good premise, right? An interesting premise or a funny premise, right? In other words, a situation. And so as you do more writing and more performing, I say instead of only doing new jokes and only doing existing jokes, I would say do both. Because what ends up happening is that as you become more experienced, you pick better premise, right? And as you pick better premise, you do better writing. And when you do better writing, right? And then it will hit a point where you write good jokes because you have good premises, but then that's when you have to go back and look at some of the harder jokes that you put down before with worse premises. Because maybe there's something there, but at the time, you may or may not see how to perform it, right? So it's sort of like a gradual process between doing new jokes and doing old jokes.
I think I misspelled premises, but I wrote it down.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, right? If you only do new ones, you will learn from. Well, if you only do new ones, it's hard to learn from what you have written so far.
You have to have a balance. That's basically what you're telling me. Like, you don't just have a plate of meat. You gotta have all the rest of your stuff.
Yes, because what happens?
It's a balanced thing. It's a whole balanced plate.
Yeah, and if you only do like your old jokes and then you rewrite it over and over, the thing is, as a new comedian, when you pick something, the premise might be shit. And if the premise is shit, that means the difficulty to write the story or write the one-liner or the joke is harder, right?
Yeah,
so if you pick the shitty premise, then it's much harder to write. And then you're bashing your head. It's like, why isn't this funny? Why isn't this funny? And then that's how some people quit, because it's too difficult. So sometimes just keep writing new ones, and sometimes you will hit easy ones because the situation actually is funny, and sometimes you hit difficult ones, right? But so it's a balance between new and old until you essentially get a sense what is a good premise that you can actually build on. Okay, now, like I said, we were going to go over existing jokes and remember the 6 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. After every one-liner, we're gonna go. Well, I'll have you tell me which one of the six or multiple of the sixes that it picked for the punchline, from what angle it came from. Okay. Okay. Throwing acid is wrong in some people's eyes.
Okay.
First of all, did you get the joke?
Yes.
Okay. So then, throwing acid is wrong in some people's eyes. Which one of the six? Who?
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, think about it. Like, it's like they're saying throwing acid is wrong
Uh-huh.
in some people's eyes. You could also see it like they're saying it depends on whose eyes they're going to throw the acid to.
Uh-huh.
So
Yes.
that would be a
Now,
who.
here's a quick. The way I see it is Jimmy Carr is from Britain, so England, right? And then I believe there are stories about people throwing acid on people's faces, right? For now, if you're coming from the point of view of someone who's like attacking other people is wrong, especially disfigurement, then it's wrong, right? But when it comes from certain sects of religion, they're like, this is good. We're punishing bad behavior, right? So you're right from whose point of view, but also I guess it's also why, right? Because in a way, why is it wrong? Different people have different beliefs, but
I mean, I
like
would feel that, like, even though they think it's good, they still know it's wrong because they do it as an attack.
I mean,
I mean, like, it's not like an appointment that somebody takes for a doctor. You know, you don't set it up; they set it up for you. You just don't know.
Yeah, but like for instance, it's like crusade. You don't walk up to crusading people and say, "This is what you're doing is wrong," right? In their eyes, they're doing the right thing. So yes, it is very much a who, but also the reason behind it is also right. Like the how is pretty set in stone. Where is not specified, but it doesn't really do.
That would be in people's eyes.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So
That one was bad.
so you can say what, right? What is it about throwing acid, right? Where into people's eyes? When? Don't know. Anytime, across all time. Who? Some people's eyes, right? But how is it bad? Then yeah. So okay. Next one. An escalator cannot break. It can only become stairs.
I like that one.
Yes. Which one of the six? Now, this is what they call a literal joke, as in it literally becomes stairs, right? It's sort of one of those clever jokes where you go, huh?
I want to say how.
Yeah.
I want to say how.
Yeah, I will agree. I was thinking how
I
as
was
well.
thinking how, because it's like where.
Uh-huh.
Well, the escalator until it becomes stairs.
Yeah, it can be anywhere.
And it's like when it breaks.
Uh-huh. So I guess it's also a when thing, right?
And then wherever there's escalators.
Yeah, but how is definitely
would be the main one.
it's breaking.
Why isn't really questioned until it breaks. So
It cannot break, right? So breaking and cannot break are the point where you twist around to make it funny. Okay, next one. Crime in multi-story car parks is wrong on so many different levels. Did you get it?
yeah.
Yeah, because different levels. Yeah. Okay. So, which one?
I gotta get where on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give it a where.
Mm.
What do you think?
I think it's playing on the fact that car parks have multi-story, right? If a car parks have multi-story, it's probably how or why, right?
Really? I thought it would be where because of the different levels.
Mm-hmm. Different levels. I don't know, but
I mean, that one's like, I don't know,
it's wrong on so many different
levels. You know, you sometimes think which level they would have started with. You think the crime started on the fourth floor and went down to the second?
It, I mean, where, yes, for sure, because it's a location, but how, right? Because for multi-story car park can have all the cars parked on the one floor, right? Whereas how is it's evenly distributed into a certain way where it has multiple floors, right?
Yeah, I can
So
also fit Y into it too, because you have like the whole like different levels of wrong
yeah,
and different levels of thing.
yeah.
I can
So
see that.
yeah, so when you yeah, so because when you say different levels, it's how it's distributed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, next one. My wife, it's difficult to say what she does. She sells seashells on the seashore.
I like that.
Okay, so which one of the six?
That would be who?
Yes, who is my wife? But that's not the twist.
I bet her name's Sally.
Okay. So the way I see it is, I think it's a what joke, right? What she does. What is it that she does, right?
Seashells
But
on the seashore.
the twist in meaning is that it's difficult to say what she does. The misdirection is, or maybe she sells something that's labor intensive, or maybe she sells something shaming in private. Difficult to say, but it's literally she sells seashells by the seashore, right? So it can be a what, but it could also be like difficult to say. It could also be how, right? Or why. Why is it difficult?
I thought it was what?
Yeah, it's a what. What she does is there, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a why. The punchline is why, because she sells seashells on the seashore, literally,
Yeah,
right? Okay, life is like a box of chocolates. It doesn't last long if you're fat.
that one's definitely a why.
Why doesn't it last long? If you're fat, you're gonna eat a lot. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay. I was so ugly, my mother had morning sickness after I was born.
That one was a why too.
I feel like
That
why?
one,
Yeah, but then he did it in the beginning, right? So if it was I was so ugly at the end, sure. The way I see it, I think it's, you know what this reminds me of? It's how ugly. You know, like when someone say I'm broke or I'm
how
ugly.
broke are you?
How broke are you? Like,
ugly are you?
so this one is how ugly are you, right?
Yeah.
It's like that. So we have that. Okay. Ready for bonus round to one-liners?
Sure.
My wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to put my foot down.
Like that.
Yeah, because it's how, right? How are you impersonating a flamingo? By keeping your foot up, putting your foot down, punchline, right? Okay. I went to buy some camel pants but couldn't find any.
What?
Because camel pants would be the twist in meaning, right? Because maybe it's so good that you can't find it.
Yeah.
And you said what, right? Want to find.
I would say what or why.
Why, you can say that. And maybe, you know, like, how ugly are you, right? How camel are these pants, right? So maybe. Okay, next one. I failed math so many times at school I couldn't even count. Like, how bad did you fail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I used to have a handle on life, but then it broke. The handle broke. So what broke? The handle, right?
On life.
Yeah, the handle, literal handle. And so it's what? It's a handle, but it's also on life. What you just pointed out means like sort of like how, right? Because it's not just a handle, it's handle on life. So good catch on that one. I was wondering why the frisbee kept getting bigger and bigger, but then it hit me. So you can say why, right? Why is it getting bigger and bigger, right?
Up until I get hit.
And then you can also say, but then it hit me. That's how, right? You got hit by it, right? I want to die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming and yelling like the passenger in his car. Uh-huh. I'm not going to do this one for you. So think.
Oh.
I want to die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming and yelling like the passengers in his car.
That one's definitely a why. It has a why set up. Why would you want to die peacefully? Oh.
Well, yes, but I was actually thinking more like, what's it called? Sort of like how, right? I want to die this way and not the other way, or something like that. How do you want to die, right?
I see what you're trying to say.
And it could also be, it can be a why, right? Because
why would you want to die peacefully?
Yeah. And yeah. And in a way, I guess you can say it's about who, but it's not a play on who.
It's you, your grandfather,
and
the passengers in his car. You got a lot of who's.
Yeah. But it's not quite a who. Because usually a who...
It's a them.
No, because when there's a who, it's more, what's it called? It's more obvious when we see a who joke. Anyway, when life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic.
Dyslexic.
Yeah, because it's lemons, right? When life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic. Because you see things scrambled, I guess.
I would say that would be a why. Or what?
And it could be how, right? This is how lemons become melons.
I thought it would be more like on how you know you're dyslexic.
It might be. Yeah, it's definitely what out. Dyslexic is why, right? Why dyslexic? How melons? Okay.
How melons dyslexic am I? Yes.
Oh no. Okay. I can't believe I got fired from the calendar factory. All I did was take a day off. Get it?
I do get it.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of like what it could be. I like it though. The setup is great.
I think a day off.
I think that one's a what.
Yes, you got it. What, right? A day off, but a day off has multiple meanings, right? So that's what. That's a what joke. Okay, next one. Most people are shocked when they find out how bad I am as an electrician.
I like that one.
Because they're shocked.
That was a how.
Yeah. How bad are you? But yeah, it's also how is like how do they find out? Oh, they're shocked, right? So that's definitely a how joke. Good. I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure.
That's dumb.
How are you indecisive, right? I'm not so sure.
Why are you indecisive? I don't know.
Yeah. This one could hit all of them.
Yeah, actually.
Because it's such a...
Where are you indecisive? I don't know.
How are you indecisive? I don't know.
I don't know.
What are you
indecisive about? I'm not sure anymore.
Okay, next one. Russian dolls are so full of themselves. You know those babushka dolls? Yeah.
I like those.
But full of themselves is essentially how people act.
Stack them.
Huh?
Well, they're stacked inside.
No, yeah, but when you say figure of speech, you say someone is full of themselves means they're sort of like
there's high egos.
High egos,
Yeah, high egos.
Yeah. So full of themselves would be how are they full of themselves, right? Or why are they full of themselves? Well, the punchline is why, because you know why they're actually full of themselves. But I think are full of themselves, then you ask why, well, because of the how. Okay, I don't suffer from insanity, I enjoy every minute of it. Suffer from insanity is a figure of speech, but you're twisting it at suffer, right?
Okay, so we're not actually suffering from insanity, or
We're
like
enjoying it.
we're enjoying it.
It's like that joke I was talking to you about. Like, I
About it
stopped
being-
doing drugs for good.
Now I do
it
drugs for evil.
Yes,
Okay.
right? So, I don't suffer from insanity, right? Suffer is, I want to say how, or it could be...
It could be how or why.
Suffer, or then you change it to enjoy. I enjoy insanity. I enjoy... No, it's not aware when. No. Enjoy what? It's not a why. I will say it's a how and a what. But what do you enjoy? Insanity. So actually, I think it might be a... It could be a why or a how. Definitely not where, when, what, or who. But anyway, to conclude all of this is keep the review at the end without compromising figure of speech, right?
I'm gonna write that down.
So review at the end is like when we were doing the one-liners, we were trying the thing.
Yeah.
Is why I'm clingy, right? Until I say, well, yeah, hit and run is why I am. There's still no reveal, right? The reveal is clingy, right? So that's why it's at the end. But you want to say it in a way where it doesn't mess up your figure of speech, right? So all I did was take a day off. Sounds like something normal people would say. How bad I am as an electrician. See, as an electrician, right? So, like, without it, most people are shocked when they find out how bad I am. Shocked could be like, he's a bad person, right? As an electrician, the reveal, bam, the connection mix, and then that's where the laugh happens, right? So anyway, yeah, that's the basic how to do one-liners. So I hope you enjoy this, and when you have a chance, review this video when you get stuck. And,
I really like this. Future Marz, review this video. But yes, I did enjoy this a lot.
Yep.
This was a really good, like...
so you get a better idea of this, right?
No, yeah,
So
this is a good brain review.
Review this video, and then start writing jokes, and then try to perform them at one-liners.
Yeah.
Oh, well, not one-liners, at open mics.
I could definitely show you some once I got some done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see you.
Bye.
See you guys next week.